tell me about like, who are you? What do you do? Tell me about yourself.
Okay, so a bit of a career change at the moment, but was a copywriter previously. Now work for a finance company that raised capital, and I sort of do a bit of everything for them. So help them out with the operation side of things, getting systems in place for the teams, and that's the main thing I do now.
What was your life like before you started these practices?
Boozy.
Tell me like an external description and an internal description.
Yeah, so externally it was just, I suppose, just waiting for the weekend to come. I had a 9 to 5 as well when I first started, and had been doing like the copy stuff part-time, almost as a hobby. And yeah, internally there was just I think a lot of conflict about doing, a lot of conflict, like feeling like I wasn't doing the right things, if you know what I mean. Like this isn't what I want to be doing. That was like the main internal fight, which then obviously that just causes massive anxiety, which came out in many different ways before I first started.
What kind of ways did it show up in terms of like your experience?
So mine was mainly social situations, and I just wouldn't want to be in them. And it was that sense, well, I didn't know what it was at the time, that after speaking to you and stuff, there's obviously that sense of almost not being true to myself, so not feeling worthy.
And how long have you been practicing now?
So I'd say, so like properly consistently. So this time on would be like it's going to be like 3 months, 2-3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then because I had and then it was probably like 6 to 7 months before that, where I'd also probably had a 3-month stint as well, I guess. The rough timelines, I can't remember exactly, but that sounds about right in my head.
And what are some of the changes that you've noticed so far during this time?
So like so during this time, I think the biggest is just I struggle to explain, more assurance in myself. So I guess more confidence in my decisions. A big thing was always being like imposter syndrome with the work I was doing. Don't get me wrong, I still get that a little bit. I think that's a natural thing, but it's not a crippling thing anymore. But I think one of the biggest is like the internal awareness I have now. So before, I think stuff was going on, but I didn't know what was going on. Like, it's easy for me now to say, oh, I was anxious in the past. I didn't know that at the time. I had no idea that's what was going on. I just thought I didn't even think, I just accepted it and like carried on with my life. Whereas now there's a lot more awareness. So when something's going on, I can notice it. And most of the time now as well, I can choose to just like let it be and then carry on with what I want. So being able to sort of detach myself from that process, I guess.
What's been some of the benefits of having that internal like awareness?
I think the biggest benefit is knowing that no matter what thought comes to my mind, or no matter how I feel about a situation, like I'm almost not, that situation isn't me. So I don't get as worked up then. So before, when it happened, you detached to it, and I didn't know what was going on, and it made everything worse. It was like a snowball effect. Whereas now I can go into a situation, I'm like, yeah, there's a chance this feeling will come up, but I can accept it and I can still carry on with the situation, like being myself. And that's a massive benefit,
How would you describe this practice to a friend that was, oh, actually, how has the anxiety been?
Yeah, so recently loads better. And I think one of the funny things about that was it was so self-inflicted in a way. And it wasn't until I started doing the work that I could see that I was doing it to myself, if that makes sense. Again, that self-awareness. So yeah, it's been so much better now. And now I'm like literally making social situations happen, which is, man, I didn't even do that before when I was social. I just went along with what was going on. So yeah, amazingly, don't get me wrong, still get it every now and again, but like I say, can just let the feeling be and carry on. So
how would you describe these practices to a friend that was struggling?
I think the biggest thing so if my friend was struggling, I do have a friend that was struggling. We were talking about like meditation. But I said to him that you've got to like start internally. And I think that's what these sort of practices do, is make you look inwards. I think that's the biggest thing I think I have taken away. Because so much you look for like external things to make you happy, or when I get this, everything will be all right. But then doing the practices, you get this realization that it all comes from inside.
I love it. Who would you recommend this for?
What, as in me personally, from people I know, or just?
No. Just like what kind of humans can benefit from this practice?
Not everyone. I think I genuinely do think, and except from people already doing it. But I genuinely do think, yeah, literally anyone would benefit from doing it. Especially people, I guess, who do want more. I suppose that's the only thing that people are wanting to achieve. If there's people there that just don't care, they don't care, but they'd still benefit at the end of the day.
Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to ask you a bunch of like introspective questions. I just want to get like a baseline.
Yeah.
1 out of 10, 10 being negative, 1 being positive. So
Okay.
10 negative, 1 positive. And there's numbers in between, like there's 2, 3, 4, 5. Because some people don't realize that. So.
Yeah, no, I know how numbers work.
All right, neck and shoulder stiffness, pain.
Oh man, that's at like a. This is gonna. I'm gonna say. I'm actually just gonna say like a 3 or a 2. But I remember messaging you, man, and that was like an 11. It was absolute hell. So to bring it back there is absolutely insane. That took a few days to bring back. That was mad. I literally was like, wow, this guy's a magician.
Lower back and hips.
So I'm gonna say, so lower back, like in itself, lower back is like a 1. Never have any issues with my lower back. I'm gonna say my hips are at like a 4 now. Probably because I have started doing a bit of running again as well, so I am aggravating it a bit. But yeah, I couldn't even go for a run before we started. Like, it wouldn't have even come across my mind because of how tight they were. And like I said, with me sitting down now, like I reckon hopefully in a couple more months, I don't know how long it normally takes, but I'll actually be able to sit cross-legged on the floor, which would be sweet.
For sure. Digestion.
I'm gonna say a 3 for that, but that's because I'm not a perfect human when it comes to eating food still. Most of the time I'm good, but you know, I do cave, and my digestion is bad on those days that I cave at the end of the day. But also not as bad as what it was before, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Sleep.
Oh, well, I think I messaged you the other day, man. Sleep's been the best sleep I've had in I'm gonna say forever. Maybe since I was like a kid. Yeah, something I really struggled with. And yeah, like the amount of deep sleep and REM sleep I'm getting now. Like I've added like an hour to my deep sleep. I never got it. It was like 20 minutes tops deep sleep, no matter what I did. Like I tried supplements and everything, man, to help me with that. And then literally like to do that flow and the meditation in the evening, it's like almost a guaranteed hour and a half deep sleep. And then increased REM as well. So it's, and I just wake up feeling so much better as well, which is obviously the biggest win.
Anxiety, depression.
So I am going to say that's probably still at a 4. But obviously even at a 4, like my ability to carry on is so much better, even though it might be at that level.
What's the highest it's ever been?
Well, I wouldn't leave my house. So I think it can be worse. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say that was a 10. It was a 10 for me. That's the worst it's been for me. But obviously, there's people worse out there. But yeah, not wanting to leave your house. Yeah, pretty extreme for me.
Stress, 1 to 10.
Oh, stress is really good actually. I still give it a 3 or a 2. I say just because that's probably the house situation. Family of 5 people that are very loud is no matter how much work you can gonna do, they're always gonna get on your nerves a little bit.
For sure. Energy.
Yeah, energy levels have been really good. I was still gonna say like a 3 or a 2 because I still think I've got, you know, I think I can get more. I'm wanting to start doing the exercise I used to enjoy. Now I feel like my body's in a more robust position. So that'll be a real good test for energy. But for work levels and stuff like that, it's high flying. I could do like 10-hour days if I have to, and it doesn't even phase. So
Incredible. Cravings.
Loads better, like ridiculous amounts better. I still have an odd beer, to be honest with you. Or even a couple, but it's just compared to where that was, and the ability to do that is ridiculous. Obviously, long terms to bring that to 0, but I'm so happy with where it's at because I can have a couple with some friends, and then come back, do the breathing and the work like that, and it does just feel like I haven't had any, and I just go sleep soundly. It does feel like a weird little hack that I was like, hey, if I think I've had a Chico to be able to drink and
For sure. Pain. So emotional, physical, spiritual, psychological.
You know what? I think because of what we spoke about at the beginning of this call, and of like these internal battles I'm having, I am going to say that's like a 4 or a 3, because they are really. They're a bit better now. They were really heightened, especially a few days ago. But like we said, I think it's part of the process anyway. It's not a negative pain, if you know what I mean, even though it feels it.
For sure. Triggers.
What? So as in things that...
Yeah, things that trigger you, push your buttons.
There's not many things. Most of it's the family, to be honest with you, at the moment. But in terms of like actual external situations that before I wouldn't put myself in that might have triggered me, they've gone. So you definitely put that like a 3 or a 2.
Mental clarity.
No, it's almost too clear for me. Like it really is like a 2, like questioning a lot. But because I can, almost see clearer from inside, and I'm like, shit, I've done some stupid stuff. But yeah,